Today is the 6th of July 2023, and I want us to look at some percentage questions and the rationale behind the answer that we would choose. Okay, now the first question is, do I want to have 25% of £6 or 65% of £2.50? Okay, the pound is a type of money spent in the UK. So do I want 25% of £6 or 65% of £2.50? Now, if you are not good at percentages, they didn't tell you the actual amount. Okay, so you might say that, oh, £6 is bigger than £2.50, so I'd rather have 25% of £6. Okay, but if you can do the calculations, then you can choose the one with a bigger value because it's money. So you want the one with the bigger value. The fact that it is £6 and £2.50 doesn't mean that £25 of £6 is larger than £65 of £2.50. Okay, so now let's look at what is actually 25% of £6. Now you can calculate this straight away because 50% of £6 will be £3, and then half of that will be £1.50. But assuming you can do that, then we know from previous lessons that £25 is 25 over 100, and then we have £6. Okay, now you can choose straight away to say how many 25s do you have in 25? 1. Or how many 25s do you have in 100? 4. And then divide £6 by 4. Okay, or you can do 0.25 times £6, and then you get an answer, assuming it's a calculator paper, because we know that powers of 100, so this is 2 zeros. So if I want to solve this in decimal, it will be 0.25. okay, to make it easier for me to put it in the calculator. So, or you can change the pound to pence. So instead of £6, you have 600 pence. Which, how many hundreds do you have in 600 pence? Okay, and then how many hundreds do you have in 100? So you have 1. So straight away you can multiply 25 by 6. So 25 by 4 is 100. 25 by 2 is another 50. So your answer will be 150. But if it's a calculator question, all you need to do is 25. Now that you've reduced the 100 and the 600, you have 25 times 6, which I've written here. So you have £1.50p because you change the £6 to pence. Okay, so you have that. So your answer will be 100 £1.50p, and then you change back to pound, which is £1.50. Whichever approach you use, you should get £1.50. Okay. Why I'm saying all this is, now you can see the reason why we've learnt everything that we've learnt. Okay. Now, £65 of £2.50. So here also, £65 of £2.50 is 65 divided by 100 times £2.50 in pounds again. So now I can take this 0 off, and then I have 10 and 25. How many 5s do I have in 10? 2. How many 5s would I have in 25? 5. So now I have 65 times 5 divided by 2. So in the calculator, I can do 65 times 5, all divided by 2. 65 times 5 is 325 divided by 2. Okay, this 250, we can write it divided by 1, because any number divided by 1 is still the same number. So that we don't get confused, we put both in fraction form. So we multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So now we have 325 divided by 2. So our answer now will give us 162.5. You remember when we're doing mathematical symbols, we talk about approximation. So I can either have 16.25 pence from this answer, or I can have I can approximate it to the nearest whole number. So I have 163 pence, and then I'll have £1.63. Okay, £1.63, or from this answer I can have £1 63. Okay, because even if I round it off, it's still the same thing. Okay, so that is my answer. Now look at it. The first one, £25 of £6 gives me £1.50. So even though it's £6, I will only get £1.50. The second one, £65 of £2.50, I'm going to get £1.63, which is 13 pence more. So if I have to make a choice, and it's because it's money, £25 of £6 gives me £1.50. I'm going to say no to that. £65 of £2.50 will give me approximately, okay, £1.63. So I'll say yes to this. The rationale being, it is money, so I want more, I don't want less. So I'll choose £65 of £2.50. I hope I've made that clear. Now the second question now is receive homework from 80% of 135 teachers or 62% of 170 teachers. So straight away, you'll be thinking, 170 teachers is too much, so I'd rather go for the 135 teachers. But you don't know the quantity of 80% of that. So you might have to do some calculation. And since it's homework, students want less homework. They don't want more. Okay, so we will rather calculate how many teachers before we make a choice. Okay, so let's look now at what we have. So 80% of 135 teachers. Okay, now straight away we can do 0.80 times 135 using the powers of 10, or we can use factors. How many 20s do we have in 84? How many 20s do we have in 105? So now 4 times 5 divided by 5 times 1, which is 5. Now 4 times 5, if you double 135 teachers, you get 270, and when you double it again, you have 540 divided by 5, assuming you don't have a calculator. Okay, but here, let me assume you have a calculator. So you first put 4 times 5, 135, which is 540, and then divided by 5. So now 540 divided by 5 is 108 teachers. Okay, so the first part, 80% of 135 teachers is now 108 teachers. Now let's look at the second part. 62% of 170 teachers. So it's all now is 62 over 100 times 170. So you can do 0.62 times 170, and then you get your answer straight away using the powers of 10 to divide. Okay, but assuming you want to do it another way, how many 10s do you have in 100? 10. How many 10s do you have in 170? 17. Okay, this is where we are. So now you have 62 times 17 divided by 10 over 1. So you can do 62 times 17 and then divide by 10 on the calculator, or powers of 10 again. Since we have 0, we can do 6.2 times 17. Okay, and on the calculator you have 105.4. Now teachers are full human beings. They are not, you can't have 105.4 teachers. So here again, mathematical symbols, you remember approximation. So since 4 here is less than 5, I'm going to approximate it to 105 teachers. So I'll rather get assign a homework from 105 teachers than homework from 108 teachers, which is 3 teachers less. So now let's look at it. 80% of 135 teachers, okay, gives me 108 teachers. So straight away I'll say no to this. 62% of 170 teachers give me 105 teachers, and I'll say yes to that. The rationale being is homework and I want less work. Okay, it's not much the difference, it's only 3 teachers difference, but I can use the time, the 3 other teachers' homework, to rest or something, or to do some extra learning. So I'll prefer to have 105 teachers homework for a period of a month, I don't know, than having 108 teachers homework. Okay, so that would be my rationale for going for this 62% of that. Okay, so rationale at times have a lot to do with the choices we make. Okay, if it's money or if it's something of value, then you want to go for more. So assuming they want to give you a percentage of a value of detention, assuming you did something really bad at school and they want to give you that, then you calculate and then you opt for the less one. But assuming it's money or something, or maybe a holiday, then you calculate that you want more days on a holiday than a less. Even if you said 1 more day, you want 1 more day, so you go for the one that pays less money and give you extra days and gives you the same facilities than go for the one that gives you less days and you have to pay more. Okay, I hope I'm clear on that. Okay, let's quickly look at sorry about that. Let's look at the third question we have here. So when 85 and 87% of 2005 or 62% of 2350, okay, straight away you'll be tempted to go for this because this, but you don't know the 62% value here, and you haven't calculated the 87% of that. So you want to do the calculation first. Okay, so it's like the first question we did. Okay, and you can use so many methods, factors to simplify, but I'm going to use the powers of 10 here. Okay, so 87 over 100, straight away it will be 0.87 and then times 2,500, 2005, okay, pounds. So straight away if I put 0.87 times 2005 on a calculator, I'm going to get 1744.35. So in pounds that will be 1744.35. so that will be the value of 87% of 2005. Now 62% of 2350, again using the powers of 10, I can straight away do 0.62 times 2350. But what I've done is I've taken the zeros out, or how many tens are in 100, which is 10. how many tens are in this 2350? 235. Okay, so now I have 6.2 times 235. Okay, and on my calculator it gives me 1457.0. So now I'll rather win 1744.35 than 1457.00 pounds. It is money, so remember that your answer should be pound. So my decision is, and my rationale is, money. I want more. So yes to the first one, 87% of 2005 pounds, and no to 62% of 2350 pounds, or 2350 pounds. Okay, so this is where we go from. Okay, so that is a, I don't know whether you can see. So from there, this is my rationale. Let's look at another question. Okay, a city council made 12 million in 2023, of which 35% was from fines. Find the amount not made from fines. Okay, so 35% was from fines. Okay, road parking fines, whatever fines. So they got 35% of 129 million from fines. Okay, the question says find the amount not made from fines. Now we know that 35% was made from fines. So if we subtract that from 100, then we know that 65% was not made from fines, maybe from taxes, from government, and from charity, whatever they got the 65% from. So that is what we are supposed to find. So straight away, 65% of 12.9 million. Now powers of 10 again. So this straight away gives us 0.65, okay, times 12.9 million. Now if you put 0.65 times 12.9 million, it will give you 8.385. To one decimal place, it will give you approximately 8.4 million pounds. So this is approximately, okay, the amount they made not from fines. This question is straightforward. It's not asking you to find anything else. So just do the question as it is asking you to, and then move on. So the amount they recollected not from fines is 8.4 million. The rest, if you find the difference, will be the amount from fines. Okay, so these are some of the type of percentage questions you might be getting. Our last question for today. A CEO of a large company received an 18% increase of his salary of 725,000 the previous year. So the previous year, this was his salary. the next year they gave him 18% increase. How much did he receive? Maybe he got the increase because he had improved on the company, or maybe because of the decisions he made, more revenue came in. So maybe the board said, we want to give him the 18% increase. How they calculated it, I don't know. Maybe it was from his contract that if he made a certain amount of profit, he could get the 18%. So maybe he got his target met. So the board decided to give him that. So the question is, how much did he receive? So here we need to find 18% of what he collected last year, and then that value of 18%, we add it to this value, and that is how much he will receive. I hope I've explained the question. Okay, you need to be able to read the question, understand, and know what they're asking you to do. So 18% of 725,000 pounds will become 18 over 100 times 725,000. Okay, now powers of 10 again. So we are going to use that, because if we want to do this, at times it can be muddled up, and if you put the wrong figures in the calculator, you are going to get a wrong answer. Assume if it's a calculator question. If it's not a calculator question, you know how to use common factors to reduce it. We did it in the first example. Okay, so now 18% will be 0.18. Here we go, times 72500. So on the calculator, you can do 0.18 times 725, and then leave the 3 zeros out. Whatever you get, you add your 0, or you straight away put in 0.18 times 725,000. However you do it, your answer should be 130,500 pounds. That is 18% of his previous year's salary. So now the question is, how much did he receive? Okay, for this year. So the total will be increase plus old salary. Now the increase of 18% we just found to be 130,500 plus his previous year's salary will be 725,000. If you add them, okay, if you add 130 plus 725, you are going to get 855, and then you add 500 plus that, you get 500, or you can put it straight on the calculator. This is easy to work out, this part, if it's a non-calculator paper. Okay, so now his new salary will be 855,500, or 855,500 pounds. Okay, that will be his new salary for the year. Okay, to celebrate his achievements. Okay, so these are some of the questions I want to show you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Okay.